All right, so we are doing it this way, but I'm not sure how well this is working. Um, but yeah, we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it like this anyway. Um, that way people can see what I'm talking about and stuff like that. But yeah, we are back for another veteran awareness project. Um, I'll mess with the other one at another time. But yeah, it's basically anything today. Like, there's no certain topic that we are going to hit on specifically. I don't have anything specific to basically go off of today. Had a late night last night, just trying to have discussions with people on different things, different variations of things, different how can I put it? Just different scenarios and stuff on political stuff. And I don't try to do that when it comes to the veteran stuff. It's just like, hey, if you got questions on any veteran topics, any veteran issues, the whole purpose of this is to ask questions, educate yourself, learn what it is. If you have anything pertaining to being a veteran or being a dependent of a veteran or being a survivor of a veteran, there's many resources out there to you that most people don't use. If you are a service member in active duty, it is good to prepare yourself before you get out of the military to be able to take care of the benefits that you earned. So there's a bunch of things that people don't realize when it comes to it, but it's more having a plan. When you have a plan, basically designating how you're going to go forward with what you're doing, that's what allows you to become successful after your time in the service. Um, it's not about just going about it and winging it. When you were in the military, being in the military is a can be a great experience for some, can be a negative experience for others. It's not always something that happens all the time. Some people go through great experiences where they meet great people, they get great opportunities and experiences, and then some people it's the contrary and it goes the opposite of what happens. So a lot of the times it's explaining to active duty service members that they need to prepare themselves for the life after military, because the thing is the military isn't forever. This isn't something that you can do as a career. It's like most veterans, unless you end up to the ranks of like general or something, you still gonna do like 30 something years. But if you joined in at yeah, it is. If you joined in basically, let's say at the age of 18, even if you did 30 years, you would still be 48 years old by the time you get out. That still leaves you with a lot of experience. That still leaves you with a lot of time that if you wanted to continue working, you would be able to. And nobody would say anything against it. It would just be something different. But it's just like you're no longer in the military. So how do you prepare for that? How do you take care of yourself? How do you look after yourself and your family after the time of service? Because the thing is if you've been in that long, you don't know what's out there. A lot of the times you've had soldiers and stuff like that that were always telling people like, hey, you shouldn't be in the military or don't go out there. It's terrible out there. And I know y'all probably know NCOs or leaders that would always say that like, hey, don't go out there, man. It's terrible. But the thing is they haven't been out there themselves. So a lot of people end up re-enlisting, which there's nothing wrong with, because of the fact that that they didn't know and they were scared of being on the outside world. They were scared of what being a civilian was like. They didn't have no idea what that was. So jumping into that is a scary situation. Because if you're in the military and you had housing, you had an allowance, you had a stable check, and now you're telling me you're going out of that, that's kind of scary for some people. So sometimes they were scared that they just re-enlisted. And then those that do get out and they don't have a plan, they go through a harder time trying to be um successful. That's why we have an issue with a lot of homeless veterans. The cause for the homeless veterans is because of the fact that we enter into service and we get some people get, you can say, institutionalized. Some people get institutionalized and they go through that process and they see like, oh, this is what happens. This is what they went through. So Cindy says you don't even sleep. I was just like, I got used to that through the military. Cindy, they were just like, I was up at like 4 in the morning and here I am doing another stream. Um, I don't really sleep. That was something that was ingrained to me while I was deployed. I was just like, I was on QRF, which is the quick reaction force, and I was doing 24-hour shifts and I would get 24 hours off. Then I'd do another 24-hour shift. Then I would get 48 hours off. Then back to 24, 24 off, 24 on, 48 off. And it was just like, and that was the thing. So it was just like, I went basically 6 straight months of not sleeping. Really, because the thing is you work a 24-hour shift, is like your body starts getting used to it, that when you are getting off of those 24-hour shifts, your body just re-wakes itself up. And it was just like, bro, it's the sun is out, bro, what you doing? It's just like, it was like you trying to go to sleep when the sun is coming up. Yeah, they don't care about it. So it's just like, that's what I was doing for basically like six straight months. Then the last month, 6 months of that, because the first month didn't do much, 6 months of that. And then the last month, it was like they took me off of that, but I was still doing 24-hour shifts, but I was getting like 3 days off now. So it'd be like I do a 24-hour shift, or no, that was 12 hours after that. It was 12 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off. And I did it that way. So it still doesn't allow you to sleep and still doesn't let you get into that rhythm of being able to understand that. And that's, you develop sleep apnea, you develop insomnia, you develop all those different things. Appreciate you, lady. And the thing is that people don't understand that, because in a civilian job, you're never going to be asked to work 24 hours straight. Very, very rarely, if you find it. Maybe if you like in the first responder thing, you might work 24 hours straight. But in the meantime, you're going to try to get some rest in between. And then, you might have a day or 2, 3 days off, and then you go back to it. You're not going to do it as a continuous motion of doing 24-hour shifts, get off, 24-hour shift, get off, 24-hour shift. But that's the thing that does mess with your health. It does mess with your mental. It does mess with your sleeping schedule. So it throws you off. And then the thing is that people don't understand that those are things that cause issues after you're out of the military. So people need to realize that a lot of the stuff that happens is within the military, you're going to deal with a lot of things. And then those are things that contribute to what you deal with after the fact. So even if it comes to like messing up an ankle, messing up your back, developing sleep apnea, developing migraines, developing tinnitus, all those things happen in service. The thing is that most veterans don't take care of themselves during service, so they go through these issues. Then a lot of veterans don't go through the process of actually fixing what they can when they're out of service. So a lot of people don't go to the VA. A lot of it is because they have a negative connotation or a negative association when it comes to veterans being told what happens at the VA. So a lot of veterans will get this information, and a lot of veterans will be like, man, the VA sucks, or it sucks for me, or I didn't have a good time at the VA, or the VA wasn't trying to help me. When you keep on passing that information down, that shit keeps on spreading. See, look, and yeah, double luck. A lot of it is being underrated. But what I've noticed also with helping veterans with their claims and stuff like that is that a lot more veterans are misdiagnosed more than anything. That's the biggest thing that veterans don't understand. A lot of veterans are more misdiagnosed than it is underrated. Because the thing is a lot of the times veterans don't know what they're doing. I'm not a doctor. I can't look at my back. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that I had degenerative disc disease, or that I had a bulging disc or a dislocated disc. I wouldn't have been able to tell myself that. So what do? When you're in service, most of the time, people don't realize that when you're in military service, the military isn't trying to make sure you are 100%. The military is trying to make sure that you can deploy. The military is trying to make sure you are ready to, if called on, you can go and get shipped out. They're not trying to make sure you are 100%. They're trying to make sure you can ship out. That's their concern. So most of the time, a lot of people get misdiagnosed while in service. So now let's say you got misdiagnosed while in service. You've been going for treatment on something that you were misdiagnosed on, and you continue to go on treatment on. And then the thing gets worse. But then now let's say you are a veteran and you're trying to make a claim for another thing when you got actually diagnosed. The VA and the military is going to be like, well, you didn't have this issue. You had that issue. So you said you had like a back strain. You didn't say you had degenerative disc disease. It was like, we can see it in the documentation that you have degenerative disc disease, but we diagnosed you with a back strain. So literally all your documentation in the military says you had a back strain. So you went through physical therapy, you went through all that stuff, and you went through back pain or a back strain, and that's what's in your file. But when in actuality, it was you had degenerative disc disease. So now that you have that, people will be like, oh shit. So then that's why a lot of people go and do their disability claims and can't get or aren't successful. Because the thing is in service, you had the documentation, but you had it documented the wrong way. You basically thought, oh, I got a back strain. Shit. Yeah, both can be true, Double Luck. You're right. But the thing is the VA don't give a shit if it don't say the second one. That's where we fall into that problem. And then when it comes to that, veterans don't know about using a nexus letter. They don't know what a nexus letter is. They ask for it, they hear about it, they'll go and they'll check another video or another live, or they'll go on YouTube and check it, and they'll be like, oh, you need a nexus letter to do that. They got no idea what the hell a nexus letter is. That's why on my website, which is free, vetawarenessproject.com, you can go and you can get a template for what a nexus letter looks like. So that way you can actually show your doctor, like, hey, this is the document I need to assist me because I'm doing my disability claim and I need this to go with it. And it was just like, that's what you got to do. But people don't understand that. People don't understand that documentation is everything for the VA. The VA is not going to go out of their way to make sure you are good. The VA is not there to make sure you go through your paperwork and you get diagnosed correctly. The VA don't care for that. That's a big assumption that a lot of people think, that the VA is out there to do that. The thing is Double, I don't think it's that they're underrating people on purpose. The thing is that most people don't know, like, look, well, if you're on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see it. If you go on the YouTube link, if my link on my page and you go to YouTube, I actually share my screen there, and then you can actually see what I'm talking about. So most people don't know what the Code of Federal Regulations is. The Code of the Federal Regulations has, so you go to ecfr.gov. So when you go to ecfr.gov, it's going to take you to the page Code of Federal Regulations. When you go there, you go to Title 38. Once you're at Title 38, you go Chapter 1, Part 4, and it has a schedule of ratings. Most people have no idea that the schedule of ratings exists. Most people never heard of the schedule of ratings. The schedule of ratings is there in order to make sure that you are aware of what you can claim for a disability claim, and also what percentages you can receive for said disability claim. There's a lot of miscommunication and a lot of thought processes where a lot of people think that it's just like, oh, you're in this position because of the fact that you filed and you got a lower rating. Some people just think they deserve higher ratings. You shouldn't have to be versed in the CFR Double, but the thing is you should have some knowledge of it. Because the thing is a lot of veterans are under the assumption where, oh, I got back issues, I'm in so much pain, I should get 100%. And that's where the problem lies a lot of the time. A lot of people will start complaining like, oh, the VA ain't trying to help me. But it's just like, look, the highest percentage you can get on certain things might be 40. But you out here thinking that you were going to get 100% for your back issues when the highest rating you can get is 40. So that alone is shooting the veteran in the foot because of the fact that it's just like you were under the assumption that you were going to get 100% because you were in so much pain. But the CFR clarifies like, hey, this is the percentage you may get. As worse as your thing is, this is it. There's a rating criteria because the thing is that's where a lot of veterans get underrated. Also, Double Luck, is when they go to their CMP exams. So when a veteran goes to their CMP exam and they don't have any idea of what the CFR is, that's how they get underrated. I'm not saying to cheat the system, but then if you educate yourself on what it is, that's how they go off of it. Because most of the time when it comes to joint issues, it's off of your range of motion. A lot of people go into these CMP exams thinking that I'm in pain. The VA I'm sorry to say, but the VA don't give a shit about how much pain you're in. Everybody has different pain tolerances. There's no way to justify and say, oh, Double is facing this kind of pain and Cruz is facing this kind of pain. Double might be one of the baddest motherfuckers around that don't feel pain for shit. So Double might go in there, and then when they tell him, oh, let me see you lift your arm up, Double don't get pain like that. It bothers him, but it don't hurt him as much. So double goes and he puts his arm up and he raises it all the way full motion. And the CMP examiner sees that and then it's just like, okay, so you have pain, but you still have full range of motion. So you're still able to function with slight pain. That's why they might give you like, 10% or service connection. Cause it's just like, it's bad enough, but it's not bad enough that it's disabling you to be able to do stuff. Well, no, but that's the thing. It was just like, what's up, JC? It was just like a lot of people don't know that, double. It's just like a lot of people don't understand that that's what happens on a daily basis. Because look, if people go in, and this is another thing that happens with a CMP exam that most veterans fuck up their rating, and it's the simplest thing. Most veterans are too damn hard headed and too damn stubborn that they still go back into that military thought process of just like tough it out, go through it. And it's just like, you know what? If you were to go and look, and yeah, military Mike, you're right. Appreciate you, my man. Some people just like, some people ignored the pain. They told you to do that. That shit gets ingrained to you. And then you go to a CMP exam and they tell you, hey, do this. So you're doing the range of motion of your arm, right? Most people, what they do is instead of stopping when the pain first hits, they'll try to push through the whole thing, wincing like, and then they'll push it through. No, you're not supposed to do that. What you're supposed to do is as soon as you find pain, once you get to that level of pain, once you get to that position, that's where you're supposed to stop. Because that is what's causing you pain. That's the level that you reach that is causing you the pain to get there. Once you feel pain, stop. Don't be hard-headed. Don't be all that big and bad and then just keep doing it. Just like, yeah. And that's the thing, Adam. It's just like some people are like that. That's why, yep, no, stop. If you feel pain, stop. Stop moving. Because that's what's causing you pain. At that position is when pain starts. And that's where you stop. And that's what you got to let them know. The problem is that most people don't do that. Most people, when they get to that point, they got pain and they'd be like, look, the pain started when you were like at 90 degrees. What does a person do? They wince in pain and they tough it out and do that. If the CMP examiner actually gives a shit, he's going to be like, hey, bro, you're supposed to stop when you feel the pain. Don't push through. That's if they give a shit. But if there's a CMP examiner that's just trying to get paid, they're going to let you go all the way up. And that's what they're going to put. Well, cruise mobility. He got full range of motion in his shoulder. Not every CMP is going to do that. You have like the same thing like when we were in service. You got the shit bags and then you got the high speeds. The high speed CMP examiners most of the time are people that had prior people in their lives that were military. So they understand that struggle. So they understand the system and they understand that most veterans go through that. But if you got a doctor that's never dealt with military, never been around military service members, don't know about no rucking, don't know about the early days, don't know about no 24-hour CQ shift, don't know about deployments, they don't know that shit. They're just told, hey, you're going off of the Code of Federal Regulations. If the Code of Federal Regulations says that this service member is supposed to have a certain movement or whatever the case, that's what it's going off of. That's what you do. You can't go any further than that. If the shoulder pain is supposed to get you 40% if you stop at 15 degrees and you went ahead and did the whole full range of motion, you're not going to get 40%. Why? Because you just showed the CMP examiner that you are able to have full range of motion. And it's like, you have pain, we have it, and they will notate that. And that's when a lot of veterans will get service connected. You won't get anything else. You get the service connected. So you get the service connected rating, which is 0, and you don't get a percentage. And veterans will be like, man, that's some bullshit. It was just like, this shit didn't work and this and that. Like, look, you can see it. Like, look, I'll put it up on the page. Like I said, if y'all on TikTok and y'all go to the YouTube, I show my screen and I show what I'm talking about. So you can go to, let's say, musculoskeletal, right? Musculoskeletal will show you, and it'll give you the different things of the range of motion. So like for the cervical spine, they measure 3 different things. Hold on. Okay. You have flexion and extension. you have lateral flexion, and you have rotation. So the flexion and extension with your cervical. So let's say you have neck issues or something like that. If you bending forward, let's say you bending forward, they're gonna ask you to push back and push forward. It's 45 degrees, 45 degrees back, 45 degrees forward. If you're able to do 45 degrees front and 45 degrees back, even though your neck is hurting, you have a disability, but it's not disabling you. They want to know what the disabling factor is. They want to see how it affects you in such a negative way that it affects your daily routine. Because the thing is you can say it hurts like that, but the thing is just like, you got to show that. Same thing with the lateral. It's going left and right. Same thing with the rotation. You turning. When do you feel the pain? When does it start? When does it hit? If you are able to do all that range of motion and you able to go front and back, but you doing it in pain, you're not going to go anywhere. They're going to give you that 0%, or they're going to give you that service connection. People should be required to be briefed prior. Hell, I briefed applicants prior to MEPS. The thing is a lot of people go into MEPS. That's the other thing. When people go into MEPS, a lot of the times people don't understand that. And the reason is that when you go through MEPS, a lot of people already got issues. The pain starts when I'm standing, and that's what I told them. Making an attempt to move my arms where the pain begins. It was just like military Mike, but that's what you got to do. You got to tell them that. See, North Star, that's what I tell people. Some CNP examiners are high speed, and some of them are shitbags. Same way how I was in service. The thing is you can't leave it to a shitbag or a high speed. You have to make sure that you know what is going on so that you do it correctly. Gina, I appreciate it, but I don't do like panels and stuff for this. This is just workshops I just do. There's something I do on Sundays. So I appreciate it, but I will start having panels for this to do it so that we can have more people that work with the VA and stuff like that also assist with that. But that's the thing. It's just like they want to see what is disabling you or how badly is disabling you. It's not how much pain you in, because like I said, pain tolerances differ between people. But at the same time, if you can't bend this way, you can't bend that way, you have to stop where you couldn't bend. Because if you keep on going, that shows that, yeah, you in pain. Yeah, you might have a fucked up back. But if you moving your whole back is just like, it's not messing you up that bad, is it? That's how the VA looks at it. And that's why I tell people you have to learn what it is. Because for the upper spine, it's flexion, extension, forward, back, lateral, side to side, and then the rotation your neck. When it comes to your spine, your lower spine, is flexion and extension is how far back can you go, which is the max is 30 degrees, and then how far is like 90 degrees because you can touch your toes. Lateral flexion, same thing. Side to side, and then rotation, how you rotate. If you doing it that way and you ain't stopping when it is, that's what it is, because it explains it in the thing. So it explains it in the CFR. If you look at the CFR will explain you. If you go there, like if pain is relative, yeah, it is. It's going to be part of your thing because they will put that in there. The thing is the CFR does not go off of pain. It uses it, and how would you say, it's in addition to your range of motion. So yes, you're in pain. They understand you're in pain. You wouldn't be there if it weren't. You wouldn't be at the VA if something wasn't bothering you. How bad is it bothering you? When does it start? What aggravates it? What makes it better? What they can prove, not what they can speculate. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like, what can the veteran prove? Otherwise, it's just like, look, you got to remember, most people don't use the VA. And it's not because they don't want to. It's because they don't know what to go through the process or don't know the process. So a lot of the times, veterans will go through that. And it's just like, if you're going through pain, most people They'll be like, you know what? I'm going to tough this shit out. I'm going to do what they did. Water and Motrin. Water and fucking extra strength Motrin. And then that's what people do instead of actually going to go get seen. But then the thing is people go get seen, right? And then they'll be like, the doctor be like, oh man, you've had fucking a bulging disc this whole time. The thing is you didn't have no documentation while in service of this deteriorating. You didn't have any time where you actually decided to go to the doctor or the PA or the clinic or go to sick call, whatever the case. You didn't choose to do that at the beginning. And that's what's causing the issue. Cause then people see that and it's just like, oh, I was just like, they didn't notice that part. See if I can make this larger. Nope, can't make that larger. Seems like okay. But that's the thing that people don't realize. It's just like the VA is not there to make sure you file everything. Cause veterans can attest to that fact that when you go, ain't no VA doctor making sure you got everything in there. That's your job. It's your job to make sure you annotate everything. It's your job to make sure you have a disability claim. The VA ain't gonna do that shit for you. You may have people, like Northstar even said, that you may have CMP examiners that actually add to your claim. Like I said, those are the high speed ones, the ones that have worked with veterans or their families are veterans. So they know that, hey, oh, if you got degenerative disc disease, you probably had like a bulging disc or something like that. Or if you had the x-rays for it, they'll see it, but you just put back pain. There's no specific thing that says back pain. It was just like, are you talking about your upper back? Or are you talking about your lower back? But people are going to put that as a disability claim like back pain. They don't know what you're talking about. Then they're going to go and search for the documentation you do have. But if it's not valid enough, or you saying you have lower back issues, but you don't have no documentation for the lower back issues, but you have a cervical issue, but you ain't complaining or saying anything about that, they're just going to be like, okay, your lower back, we don't got no documentation for it. 0%. I had a doc tell me to come in when I was in pain. I told that doc I would be in their office every day. I'm in constant pain. And that's the thing. Some people, look, we are some of the most medicated people that are around. And that's because we always will be told, hey, I got this for you. You can take this, you can take that. The thing is it's trying to learn to cope with it. But if you can go to physical therapy and stuff like that, that's a big change, especially when you don't have to pay for it. Now, yeah, do you have to wait for it? Yeah. It isn't a fucking overnight thing. The same way people weren't able to diagnose themselves to figure out what was wrong with them, the VA isn't just waiting for you to just have a broken back. There's people that got broken backs. There's people that got fucked up backs. They know their back was fucked up, so they're going to take care of them first. But if you came into it not even knowing what was wrong with you and you expecting to get help and assistance right then and there, that shit doesn't happen that way. That's unrealistic. And people just need to understand that. It was just like, if you join the military, you join the military. Fine. Whatever happened in the military, happened in the military. You didn't document a damn thing. You can't tell me you mad at somebody that actually decided to take care of themselves while in service. I'm sorry, you're not going to get any sympathy from me. Because the thing is those are most of the time the people that always want to complain. Or just like, oh, this person just did one thing, or they did one contract and they're at 100%. Yeah, but within that contract, when they got fucked up, they went and got seen. They didn't push through it. They weren't the tough guys. They weren't the ones that was just like, you know what? Water and fucking ibuprofen. That 500 milligrams or that 1,000 milligrams. They weren't the ones doing that. They was like, nah, I'm going to go get seen because I'm fucked up right now. Whereas other people, it was just like, yeah, you could have had all these deployments, but throughout all those deployments, if you didn't choose to actually get seen when you were messed up, the VA sees it as just like, hey, bro, you don't got nothing wrong with you. I was just like, how do I know you didn't injure yourself after the military? Because remember, most veterans, they don't file for disability claims till years after. So now you have a gap between when you joined, when you got out, and when you actually claimed. Now, when you have a gap of, let's say, 10 years, in those 10 years, you could have gone, like I always like to say, you went snowboarding and you had an accident while snowboarding. The VA don't know that. The VA could just be like, you know what? The reason you here is because we don't have anything in your file. So you could have gotten this injury at whatever time and point between your ETS date and when you actually decided to file. We don't know that. We don't got no documentation of you messing up your back while you were in service. So how do we know you didn't mess up your back outside of service? And you just trying to claim it as, oh, your back is messed up. And that's what people don't realize when it comes to that. It was just like, those are some of the factors there where it's just like, when you get to that point where it's just like, the VA doesn't know when you got messed up or when you didn't get messed up. When you have the documentation, it's easier. Do you still get denied? Yeah, because not everybody does a good job. But at the same time, what some veterans tend to do is that they also give up in the process when they get denied, not knowing that they can appeal the process, not knowing that you can get a higher level review or get a board review or a supplemental claim, which adds more information. Most veterans don't even look at the back part of the sheet when they receive their rating stuff. They're just concerned with, oh, I got 100%. Or I got 50%. I was just like, how the fuck I got 50%? Man, I'm in pain, this, yada, yada, yada. And then most of the time, they don't even read the documentation that it says, hey, you here because of this. Oh, no, North Star, you can do so many things. You have a bunch of secondary things. You can do prescriptions because the prescriptions you may have may cause something else. Like for some people, if you got blood pressure medication, you might have ED because of it. That's a claim you can put in. If you have this many amount of pills that you take and the side effects may cause ulcers or may cause that. Now you have it, you develop ulcers if you get them because of the fact that you've been taking this other medication and it's a known side effect. So you can put a claim into that way. Because the thing is if y'all prescribing me medication that is messing me up even more, that's documentation alone. But people don't understand and don't read that. Because the thing is if you have to take muscle relaxers all the time, that means you shouldn't be operating any kind of machinery, meaning you shouldn't be driving a vehicle also because you might be drowsy and stuff like that. That's a disabling factor. See, like ED is a side effect of ibuprofen. And how many milligrams weren't you getting pumped into every time you went to the fucking doctor? It was like, hey, man, have some water. Here's like fucking 700 milligrams. And you'd be like, damn, I didn't even know this shit go that high. Then they hit you with 1,000 milligrams because you kept on going back. And it's just like, it has those issues. And that's busy. That's another thing. A lot of vets are prideful. A lot of vets are just like, nah, I don't need no help. I'm a tough guy. Like, bro, you walking with a goddamn cane. Go get fucking seen. I was just like, you had to figure that out and do it that way. It was just like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Yeah, exactly. 800 milligrams, 800 milligrams 3 times a day, and you doing that shit daily. You know how many milligrams of stuff you put into your body just because you gotta try like. See, but that's the thing, and that's why I say it. With a lot of people, they get the instance of they've had this issue, but the VA either didn't have the resources or the VA wasn't good enough back then. Back in the older days, the VA wasn't as able to do these things. And it was just like, so you have this and it just like, it doesn't develop into anything because why? The things have changed. Like back in the day, it was just like, you didn't have MRIs. You didn't have the accessible, well, you had them, but it wasn't as accessible as it is now with an MRI or an X-ray. It was just like talking to somebody in the service right now, a damn MRI and an X-ray, that was hand done. So like an X-ray, people had to do it by hand, use chemicals to actually produce the shit. Where now, all you do is like, hey, I need you to sit here, put this shit on. Got whoever's helping you run behind the door. Bang, okay. Boom, that's it. Now this shit pops up on a computer screen. They didn't have that back in the day. So when it was just like, oh, I need to see what your spinal thing. They were talking about doing a spinal tap. So if you have to go through a spinal tap, best believe you ain't gonna fucking go again. If you got to, what? You need to check my back. Now I'm good, bro. You ain't doing that shit to me again. You ain't doing that shit to me again. A spinal tap? Nah, I'm good, bro. Nope, not gonna happen. We leaving it at that. Not gonna happen. I am not dealing with this situation. Now you got a back issue. Hey, you can go get an X-ray, and now the same. You don't have to worry about no spinal tap, because that's how I learned that from a Vietnam vet that I talked to, and he was just like, yeah, I went to the VA and they hit me with a spinal tap. He was like, I was never felt anything like that in my life, where they had to stick something in my back and doing this. That. Dean, when I do the workshops, I don't take guests on Sundays. I just basically, if you got questions, just shoot them out. I'll get you an answer. I haven't started doing panels on this. I will, but on Sundays it's just workshops. So it's just like answering questions for people. So if people have questions, I direct them. If you go onto my YouTube, I have the same thing, but I also share my screen so I can show it easy. I'm trying to fix it that way on TikTok so that I can do the stream at the same time and y'all be able to see the same thing. But that TikTok live is weird when it comes to doing that. But it's just like people got questions, that's what it is. But those are the things that people don't understand. He explained that to me. He was like, yeah, I had to go through a spinal tap. He was like, after that shit, I never went back to the VA again. He was like, he got his percentage and that's it. And then he was just like, no, I'm not going through a spinal tap again. I'm not doing that again. So he never went back to the VA because of that one instance where he had to go through a spinal tap. Now, medication has been better, medication has improved, technology has improved. So a lot of the things that veterans back in the day went through has changed. Because a lot of times it's just like, it hasn't done anything. Nothing has changed for that. So it's just like, that's something that veterans need to understand, that it's just like there have been improvements through the VA. They're trying to add more resources, but then at the same time, they're trying to remove them at the same time. So it's just like people don't understand that. And that's something that people don't understand. People don't go through that. People don't experience that. They don't see that. How do I take care a refusals for benefits when I went to a doctor for it? So Dean, the question is I have to ask you is what do you mean by refusal? Do you mean like a denial? So you got a denial for benefits or a denial for a certain thing? Because you got to remember, when you're going through the process, if you get a denial, there's three different types of ways that you can like appeal it. There's a supplemental claim, which the supplemental claim is you basically going through the process of finding more evidence and adding it to your thing. So it could be something like, hey, you had this documentation, but you got more evidence to add into it. That's a supplemental claim. The higher level review would be somebody that is like, hey, I don't need to really add anything. I can talk to the person, but it was just like a clear mistake that was made. So it's just like my documentation is there. This person just got it wrong. And then you go to the board, and that's the board one is just basically it'll be a more in-depth review of everything. So hearing, heart, and mesothelioma. No, I always mess up these words. My bad. So if you have hearing issues, you have to go get a hearing study or audiology test. That is gonna be done by the VA because they're gonna do that. But the thing is the VA isn't gonna do that most of the time. They will do that. You just have to have the service connection, Dean. What caused it? What identifying factors was it that caused it from your time in service? That's where a lot of veterans mess up. It was just like, do you have that documented? Do you have the connection of it being documented? Do you have it explained as to how it's documented? Because the thing is if you have it, so if they're denying it, that's something you need to appeal. You need to go through the process. And what most veterans I tell to do is go through your medical records and have the identifying documentation. So let's say this is what I tell people that are getting out of active duty or even you go through your medical records, right? You find every instance where you have that documentation of audiology. Every time you had something wrong with your ear, you have to take that and separate that and put that in a different thing. That's the thing, Dean. That's the thing I know with a lot of Vietnam vets is that they have that problem where the documentation isn't there. That's why it's so difficult for Vietnam vets. So what you need to do is that you need to look into like, so basically you got to look at your ratings letter, right? Your ratings letter is going to tell you why you didn't get a percentage or why you didn't get something. That's something that you need to see because then it's going to tell you like, hey, we found favorable evidence, which I find it to be the stupidest thing when they have that. But it'll say we found favorable evidence on this thing, but we didn't have a service connected. So basically what that's saying is that we found evidence showing that you have this issue. We just don't have the link or the bridging connection of you having it and getting it during service. So that might be the issue with, and then you got to remember also, Dean, with some of these things is depending on the thing. So like, let me show you right now, like table of contents. I'll go to, what is it? Organ special sense. Like impairment of auditory. So if you go to the thing, there's thresholds that they go through thresholds of how much hearing you lost. Like me, I deal with tinnitus. Me, I had hearing loss, but I had the reason I was able to get the hearing loss was because I actually had documentation while in service of the doctor saying like, look, this guy's hearing has gotten so bad that he might have to reclass. I didn't reclass, but I have that documentation in there showing like, look, this dude lost so much hearing. That's something you got to make sure is in there. You have to make sure that's in there. But the thing is let's say you went, Dean, and you went and did another audiology test, and your hearing apparently looked a lot better than it did before. That's an issue also. Because you may have it that you lost all this hearing in service, but then when you went and got the audiology test done, but when you did the audiology test and they tested you again, if it looked like it improved, then it's going to be like, oh, well, it's not the same thing. It was just like while he was in service, he was damn near deaf. But now that we checked him, he's not deaf. He's actually hearing a lot better. He went through the thing. You know how we go through the beep thing? It's totally, but that's the thing. You have to have that documentation, Dean. You have to have documentation across the whole way. You got to remember that a lot of the times these people make mistakes. Sometimes they just make mistakes and they might have denied you and you just need to appeal it. You don't refile it, but then what you do is you got to go through your documentation again and get it back together. Like I said, if you need a Nexus letter, if you go to the website, I have it linked in my bio. It's vetawarenessproject.com. There's a Nexus letter template there. If you're not a loss, you can't give up. That's the thing. The problem is that we need to keep on fighting for it. The thing is sometimes the way you go on about it is where you need assistance. Because you have to go through the process. If you got a Nexus letter that shows that it's doing it, because the thing is the biggest issue with Vietnam vets is the fact that they are filing so far after it is. You have a VSO, your VSO should be able to explain it. And if he's not able to explain it, Dean, go to another VSO. I always tell people to go to VSOs. The thing is some of them are great, some of them are not. But the thing is you also got to make sure you're educating yourself through the process while you're doing it. Ask your VSO what the issue is. Ask him, it's just like, why do you think I got denied? And if he can't give you an answer, you need to find another VSO. Yep, find another VSO, Dean. Because there's plenty of people that do this. I always tell people to go to a VSO because they're free. If you want to go and pay an entity, that's on you. I don't suggest that because it's just like the shit is free. But you got to go. Your VSO needs to be able to tell you why do they think that is, and what do I need to work on to fix this situation? The thing is a lot of VSOs, if a VSO can't tell you what you need to do to try to fix it, to prove it, even though it's in the system, that's not the VSO for you. That's when you need to go and find somebody else. Yep. The DAV, Veteran of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, Wounded Warrior Project. You got, I don't like Gary Sinise anymore, but he had the Gary Sinise Foundation. He did some shit I ain't like, so I don't really say his shit anymore. But there's tons of nonprofit organizations that have this and they have VSOs. If you go, the next time you go into the VA or VA hospital, most of the time they have a VSO within there. You're going to have to file out, I think it's DA form or VA form 21-22. Let me see, hold on. See, so there's the website I'm showing y'all. So there's the website resources. You would go and it says Nexus letter. Hold on. So Nexus letter, you would be able to go there. You click on it and get it. But DAV, Veteran Foreign Wars, American Legion, there's so many entities out there that provide assistance for veterans and they do it for free. Like I said, not everybody is great at their job. So I can't be mad at somebody that don't know what they're doing. Well, you can be mad because of the fact that they saying they know they do it. But a lot of the VSOs, the VA is a very large thing to be able to be an expert on. I'm not an expert on all this shit. I'm pretty good at researching. I'm pretty good at finding the information. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty good at relaying it and understanding and giving veterans a different perspective that they probably didn't think of for when they're going through this process. Because the thing is you don't know what you don't know. You just don't know. Some people don't know these things. If you don't know what you're looking for, don't know what you're trying to be successful with, you ain't going to know. Yes, Vietnam veterans do have a harder time because of the fact that there's such a gap in filing. So, Dean, how long after you filed, how long after you got out of the military did you file? Because if you went 10, 15, 20 years, that's a 20-year gap that the VA is trying to figure out. That's a long time period from if you got out and you went to the VA 20 years after that, that's a 20-year. See, look, more than that. You have, so basically, this is the way the VA looks at it. You went to, I was saying like the resources you can go through here and you can find it there. But that's the one thing you need to, this is the way the VA looks at it. You served from whatever time to whatever time. You got out. You went 40 years without going to the VA, making a claim or anything like that. The VA is trying to, the easy button for the VA is like, well, you haven't seen us in 40 years. 40 years? I don't know what you went through. I don't know if you had this issue. Did it get worse? Did you have an accident that caused it to get worse? I don't have anything in between. So you have to fill in that gap, Dean. You have to fill in that gap. If it's documentation from a thing, that's why I say a Nexus letter, because you could go, you get a Nexus letter, you go to resources on my website, you go to VA Nexus letter, and it explains to you what the guidelines are, what's the purpose. Documents veterans' current medical condition linked to an event, injury, or illness during military service. Prove service connection for VA disability claims, and assist with the preparation of a disability benefits questionnaire. You can also fill out a DBQ if that's the case. And I have those on my website also, which is just, you could just click on it, find it, and you can download it. And that's the thing there. All those things are there, but you have to make sure you are tying all those things together, because with Vietnam vets is the hardest time. And the hardest thing is you've been away for so long. Scissor, what's up? It was like you've been away from the VA and the medical system for so long that you need to, they basically want you to prove the fact that you are this far away from being seen, but it was caused because of the time in the military. That's where a lot of Vietnam vets have that problem, because the thing is they started their service at that point, but then you have to make that connecting factor for that time period going forward. Because if you don't have it, that's where you fall into the issue. You fall into the issue where you are not going to be able to be successful because of the fact that you have a 40-year gap. If you got a 40-year gap, it's just like the VA looks at it as like, bro, within these 40 years, you could have developed something, or you could have bad health, or you didn't take care of yourself well enough, and that's what caused your hearing to get worse, or that's the cause for you to have like high blood pressure now. It was just like you didn't have high blood pressure in the thing, but it's gotten worse over time. But how do I know you haven't been putting yourself through something stressful outside of the military? So that's where you have to put those connecting factors, and you have to make the documentation. Even if that's the case, you can go and you go to the link, VA forms. The VA forms where it's the personal statement or lay witness statement, another person providing you a statement like that, or you do your own statement. Statement in support of claim, VA form 21-4138. If you use that, you are making a claim on your statement as to why it happened and how it happened. So, because you got to remember, when you go to that CMP examiner or you go to that VA rater, they don't know who you are. They are looking at your file, and what's in your file needs to paint a picture and do it. What I tell veterans and I tell people when they file on disability claims, you need to be able to take your file and give it to somebody that don't know who you are, and they should be able to tell how fucked up you are. If you can't do that, how's a VA rater and a CMP examiner supposed to know? If a random person can't tell you and look at it just like, oh, he does have audiology, he does have this, he has a statement, he has documentation and stuff like that, it was just like, okay, this dude is deaf. It's just like if somebody can grab your file and be like, yeah, this dude is deaf. That's how you need to be able to process your disability claim, so that way when you go through the VA has without no doubt, it's just like, okay, yeah, this dude is deaf. Yep, he did that. He was a gunner in the military. He got tinnitus, he got hearing loss. This is proven, and we can go and we can continue that forward. And you can make a statement of just like, hey, I did this when I served in the military. I was a machine gunner. When I was deployed, it was this, and this happened. I have this in my record showing that this happened, and it has progressively gotten worse over time where my hearing has deteriorated. And I've had problems where, hey, I have to try to get a hearing aid because of the fact that I can't hear anymore out whichever ear it is that caused and has all this damage. It was like you have to lay that out for them, because the thing is some of these people be lazy as shit. And it sucks to say that. It sucks to say that the VA people have lazy shit, but you got people lazy in every single fucking job. Everybody ain't put in 100%. So it's just like what needs to happen is that you need to make sure you are putting 100% in. You need to make sure you are doing everything you can to make sure your claims are successful. You're not leaving it up to somebody else. You have to make sure your paperwork is there, buddy statements, your statement, your support and claim statement, your DBQ, your Nexus letter, your MRI, your imagery, all that stuff. You got to make sure you can hand that to them. And when they see it, you don't have such a tough time. But the thing is most of the time people don't go through the process of making sure that everything is concrete. They will go through the process and just submit what it is. That's the other thing that people don't understand too. There aren't enough VA raters. So you mean to tell me, like, look, this is the instance I like to give with my personal stuff. My medical record had 988 pages, or 980 something pages, right? And that was including all the physical therapy I went through, my dislocated discs, bulging discs, labrum tear, shoulder injuries, shoulder pain, neck pain, all that, ankles, all that was documented. If I'm not going to go through 900 pages to figure out what was wrong with me and do the due diligence, you expect somebody that don't know you, they got to make sure to have a quota of how many people they take care of to go through 987 pages? That's not realistic. That's you not being realistic. If you had so many files in there and you didn't separate them, you didn't do anything, it's just like, these people got to take care of and go through the process. Just like, let's say, like I said, like there's basically like what, 20 something working days in a month, right? Because they don't work on the weekends. Let's say you got a holiday, that lessens the day. Now tell me you have to go through, let's say 5 a week. That's being generous. That would mean you get a whole day to check everybody's thing. That's not how it goes through. These people most of the time got to do multiple ones throughout the day to meet a certain number that they have to reach by the end of the week. So literally they have to go through it, and they have to go, probably some of them go through it quickly, some of them don't. Some of them, what they do is they control F. So they search for the stuff. Right, that's his last name. Well, so my husband is a 100% disabled veteran, Vietnam vet. What? And his last name is, can they cut him? Monica, can you finish the last part of the thing? Just finish that, because it's like it got broken up, so I don't know what the question is. But I was just like, that's what happens a lot of times with veterans, where they don't know these instances. They don't know this information. They're not able to obtain this information because of that fact. It gets to the point where it's just like, you know what? I can't be successful, or I'm not successful because of this, because of that, or whatever the case may be. You have to be able to show people what your problem is. Like I said, if you got 900 pages or something like that, you're not going to be successful. Why? Because if you didn't break down the differences, and that's what I tell people, my advice to people is you go through your medical records line by line. Line by line, you go through every instance of everything. Whatever you know you are going to claim, you got to separate that. So let's say you had back issues. Every time you had anything dealing with that back issue, whether it was physical therapy, when you got hurt, when you got a damn steroid shot on there, or whatever the case may be, you need to separate that into a separate file that just basically is that back issue. You had an ankle issue. Okay, go through your medical records line by line. Every instance of that ankle injury, you separated, make that into a different document. You had I said 3 volumes. What do you mean, North Star? It was just like it depends on how you go. But if you do that effectively, then when you submit the evidence, people see that. Because the thing is now you have, let's say you filed for disability claim for your upper back. So you have cervical issues, you have degenerative disc disease, you have all that. You have all that in a separate file. And it's cervical claim or back claim or whatever. Now that CMP or that VA rater has the ability to go directly into that file and he can search through that. And he can go through that because it's easier to separate. All your back issues are in that one document instead of in a 900-page document. Ain't nobody trying to go through 900 pages. Especially if you didn't go through 900 pages, they definitely not going to go through 900 pages. Because then the thing is you got to remember, when you had these back issues, these issues could have been throughout your time in service. The VA, when you leave the service, your medical records are not in categorical order. They are in timeline order from when you first got seen all the way to the last time you got seen. Melly Mel, I currently do not do that one-on-one thing. I'm working on doing that, but I need to make sure that I have the legal recourses to make sure that I'm doing that correctly. I haven't done that yet. That's why I haven't done that. I've only done one consultation, and that was somebody, one of the members that I have on YouTube, and I did a consultation for them. But the thing is just like I help them, but I don't help you file it. I just go through the process. If you have somebody that hasn't been able to do it, I just tell people to show up into these lives and just ask away. Ask any questions. I will answer it and you will get directed into what you need to do and how to help you. Because the thing is most of the stuff is free information, but a lot of people don't know where to find it or where to go. Because when most of the time it's just like, this is there. It's just like, you just need to know what you're looking for and what you have to do, what you have to provide. But going through your medical record, having everything identified, everything separated is... See, that's the thing. That's why I don't get into those. That's why I don't want to get into those situations, because I don't want to put myself through going through that, Mel. Because the thing is if it's a personal thing, most of the time that has to deal with something with like MST. That's something that, if that's the case, you need to make sure you have the documentation. You have to have buddy statements. You have to have evals, or you have to have evaluations and stuff like that annotate all that in there. If you know somebody that went through something like that, because you got to remember, a lot of the times service members don't report when they go through that because they fear repercussions. So the thing is you have to find people that can corroborate those instances. So when you go to the VA form, VA form 21-1021, which is the lay and witness statement. You have to have somebody that was there with you filing that claim. You have to have that person to identify, like, yeah, I was there when this happened. This is how it affected them. This person changed, and this. You have to annotate that to show that, because you have to have that documentation. Because the hardest part about it is I have a couple of friends that have gone through that, and they just weren't able to put it because they didn't report it. So it makes it a tougher battle to go through the situation. But then, so in certain cases, Mo, like, that's the thing. When it comes to, like, in order for me to be able to help, I need specifics, but I don't need specifics. You get what I'm saying? Like, because the thing is every situation is different. I don't know what this person documented. I don't know what this person filed. I don't know what information there is. Because there's certain things that is just like, you might have done this part of the documentation, but what did you write in the documentation? Were you specific? Were you explaining how it messes with you and stuff like that? Monica, hold on, let me see. All I got, Monica, was so my husband is 100% disabled Vietnam vet. What? And his last name is Cunningham. Can they cut? And that's all I saw. It just says, can they cut? I didn't see the rest of the message. So that's the thing, Mel. That's the thing. But you have to go for that table of contents, and it's just like, because MST falls under it's different, but it's still it becomes a mental disorder. but you have to go through the CFR and it'll explain that. And it'll go through post traumatic stuff. That would be, which one is it? Post traumatic stress disorder, or they have, what the hell is it? Because they have MST, so military sexual trauma. That is in there also. His benefits, he's 75. They won't cut benefits. If you're 100% PNT at that age, most of the stuff is already locked in and they will not remove benefits that way. So that's something to go through because they have what they call it's the 5, 10, and 20 rule when it comes to disabilities. At 5, when you're at 5 years and you've been at permanent and total, certain things will not be removed. At 10, it was just like even if it improves, it won't. And at 20, that shit is just locked in. So at that age, you ain't gonna lose benefits. So that's another thing I know people are going through with this whole administration doing all this stupid shit. It's there, but you have the 5, 10, 20 rule. So basically those different rules are there in place so that if you've been at PNT for 5 years, basically certain things will not be removed. When you get to the 10-year mark, it's just like, okay, even if it improves, you might not lose it. And at 20, it's just like it's locked in. But it's just like depending. Yeah, and at age 55, I think that's the you're locked in after that. So there's no changing after that. Yes, he is safe, Monica. You don't got to worry about that. That's something that happens. I know with a lot of older vets, that's the issue right now. It's just like some of these people use these benefits to go through life. So I understand the worry because most of them don't know that, but it's just like after 55, you good. Because basically you've had that rating for so long and you've had that stuff for so long, it's not going to get better at that point. So they know your health is probably going to start deteriorating after that. So it's just like you locked in. You don't have to worry about losing it. He's like, I got 7 years to go. I got 7 years to go. Then it's just like that's what it is. But those are the things, those are the instances where it's just like documentation is the biggest thing when it comes to this stuff. It was like when it comes to specifics like that, I always tell people to go to a VSO. Or what you do is even if it's one of these paid entities, if they offer you a free consultation, take that shit. Take that free consultation, ask the questions you need, or put together the questions you have so you are better prepared. So if they tell you got a 30-minute free consultation, well, you just throwing out questions. It was like, oh, I got this. What should I do? And stuff like that so that you educate yourself on there. Airborne, my man. I'm glad to see that name, bro. Since I was able to hit up your channel. Hey, I appreciate you being back, man. Good to see you, my man. Good to fucking see you. That was just like, and that's the thing. I tell people, you don't have to pay for this stuff because this stuff is free. Like, look, I'm doing this shit for free. I don't get paid for this. The only way I get paid is if people donate or if I get tons of viewers on YouTube. Most people don't know who I am, so that's what it is. And you don't need to do that though, Monica. I don't. If people do it, I appreciate it, but it's not something that's necessary. This is something that I want to do because I'm a veteran and I understand that people don't have this information. People go through these things and they don't know. It's just like you don't know what you don't know. So I can't expect veterans to know this. So I take it upon myself to like, you know what? I need to help people because of the fact that it's just like I went through this situation and I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I got on YouTube and started doing that. So I figured might as well, if I'm going to be on YouTube, and I'm a person that streams and all that stuff, it's just like I might as well do something that's going to benefit people while doing it. Now, like I said, I'm not getting anything off of it. I don't need anything off of it. I'm okay right now. I'm in school. I'm using my GI Bill. I graduated in May with my master's degree. I'm going to be okay. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't know what they need to do to have that success and be successful after their time in service. So I'm just here to basically educate people on there. That's all I'm doing. This is free information. All this stuff is obtainable by everybody. You can just find it. It's just if they don't know where the resources are, it's kind of hard to show somebody when they don't know where it is. And that's the problem that people don't understand. It's just like that's something that people need to realize, that it's just like, okay, if we're going through this situation and you don't know the information, ask. That's why I tell people, it's just like if you tune into these workshops, I do them every Sunday without fail, unless I'm out somewhere where I can't get to a computer or I don't have service on my phone, or a migraine hits, which has happened before on a couple of things, and it's just like, yeah, afraid of the unknown and not knowing. It's a crazy feeling. Yeah, exactly. You can't ask questions on something you have no idea to ask. But that's why I tell people it's like, look, you just tuning in. It's just like, don't hesitate to ask, because the question you may ask may benefit another veteran that just didn't know what to ask. That's why I just tell people all you got to do is tune in, show up. If you got a question on one thing, I'm going to elaborate on it so that you get educated on it and you know where to find more resources to better get knowledge. I don't know all this shit. The VA has way too many damn resources and stuff like that that I have no idea. I still don't know about certain ones. Sometimes I have viewers that come in and be like, hey, man, you should look into this. And I'm like, damn, I ain't even know that shit. And then what do? I go and I research it. And then what do? The next workshop? I make sure that I'm putting that information out there, because it's like, look, this is information I didn't even know. Let me make sure that anybody that tunes in the next week, I just found out about this. Hey, next week, I just want to do a little brief segment. I want to talk about this, and that I just learned about in research. And then I just educated somebody else. It was just like, it's a learning experience that goes both ways. Because the thing is I have a lot of knowledge in this because I've been learning it and working hard to learn it. But at the same time, it's just like other people know certain things because they use certain programs. Like some people, like with me, I learned about the clause in the VA loan where you can get your windows redone. And it's part of your mortgage. It's not even you got to pay out of pocket. It'll be basically done as part of the mortgage thing. And it's just like people don't understand that. What's up, Silos? And it's just like I learned that when I was buying my house. I was just like, oh, I could get brand new windows? He's like, yeah, you just have to do the documentation and stuff like that. It's called the electric efficient mortgage. That's a clause within the VA that you can get your windows fixed. You tell veterans about the VRE, the Veteran Readiness and Employment, where you can basically have a secondary GI Bill. People have no idea what it is. Says I understand that. It was just like, what is the form for the personal statement? I got you, Airborne. Give me 1 second. Personal statement is statement in support of claim is VA form 21-4138. No, I am not in California. Because right now I'm currently streaming on 3 different platforms. I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm streaming on YouTube, and I'm streaming on TikTok. So I basically do this to try to spread it out to as many people as possible. Do a lot of people tune in? No, because you can see not a lot of viewers are in here. But if I start talking hella crap about Republicans or Democrats, this thing will get infiltrated like crazy. But like most people didn't know that they can get a rating for a side effect of major issue. World War II up to Vietnam vets should get composition for the military issuing cigarettes. That's one I didn't know. I didn't know about the military issuing the cigarettes. I was just like, that's something new. That's something new to me. They're just like, I get less attention when it comes to people, when it comes to these educational streams. It was just like, I get less pushed out. I went to a affordable house. It's almost inevitable here in California. It don't matter where you at. If you are a United States veteran, you can use the VA loan. You don't have a down payment. You don't have a down payment with a VA loan. Most veterans don't do that. Yeah, interest rates suck right now. Interest rates suck right now. Damn, the cigarettes used to be in the MRE? Boy, that's wild. I was happy when I found a damn hot sauce in mine. They got cigarettes in that shit. That's crazy. That's a whole nother level right there. Although you get happy when you get that little Tabasco fucking sauce in your shit. And it was just like, oh, you get the, which was the damn MRE? It was just like, you got happy when you got that little shit there. It was just like, man, I'm happy I got this. These people getting the Zippos. Yeah, I know they had the Zippos. Those were pretty nice. But it's just like, those are the things that people don't know. People don't know that. The thing is all this information is out there. The thing is that VA.gov is a site that has so much information, but that shit is spread all over the place that it's overwhelming. That's why I almost lost my shit when I first had to file my disability claim. Because it was like, I looked at the shit and I was just like, where the fuck do I go? It's just like, file a disability claim. Click here. Click here. Click here. You done click like 4 different times and you still haven't figured out what the fuck you were doing. And it's just, man, fuck this shit. And that's how a lot of veterans go through the process, because they'll look at the va.gov like, look, I'll pull up the va.gov right now. Here it goes. So it'll give you these, like the other search tools. Find a VA location, find a VA form, find an accredited rep or VSO, find an outreach thing. When you go to find a VA form, it's not like most places that, they give you a whole fucking directory that shows you like, hey, this is VA form 1 through 3000. No, these people want you to enter a keyword, form a name. Hold on, let me share the screen. They want you to show this shit. And it was just like, bro, if I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, how the fuck am I going to know what I'm searching for? That's crazy, North Star. Imagine feel hungry, but there are a lot of Vietnam vets out in the thing. You ain't going to have time to do that. So it goes through that. Which is just like, if I don't know what VA form I'm looking for, if like how Airborne just asked on YouTube, he was just like, hey, what's the personal statement letter? You would be able to go here, but you got to type in personal. Let me see. Personal. Put personal statement. And look, statement of a person claiming loan, statement of a person thing, statement of person claiming, statement in support of claim. So 21-4138. So you basically got all these different instances where it says statement. So it's like, if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know where the hell to click. That's why I went and I made the website, and the website has it, and it's just a breakdown of what the form looks like, because most of them look like the same when you're inputting the information, but some of them are different. So on the website, you could just see it was just like, oh, 4138 on the top, statement in support of claim. Now you know you can go to it and you can just click on it and get it. Yeah, they're going to make you work for it. So that's why I was just like, I figured it was just like, look, I had to go through this instance where I had to go through all these clicks to do that. Shit, even when it came to looking at like, yo, how much am I going to get paid? If I get this percentage, how am I going to get paid? You got to go here. You got to go on disability, or you can click here. And when you open up the page, it says eligibility, how to file a claim, survivor and dependent compensation, file a claim online, check your claim decision, view your payment history, upload evidence, file VA disability increase, or request decision. It was just like, bro, I'm just trying to find out how much I get paid if I got 70%. You giving me all this other shit except the shit I need to find. Okay, cool. Let me see view all in disability. Now you're going through it, right? Get VA disability compensation. And then you go down the list and you keep on looking for it and looking for it and looking for it. More information, disability compensation rates. That shit is all the way at the fucking bottom. All the way at the bottom of the thing. And then it has eligibility, all that stuff. You got to scroll all the way, get there. And then it's like, oh, rates. You click on disability rates. You still ain't at the damn answer what you're looking for. Yeah, Google is faster, but that's what I'm saying. Most people don't know how to search for it. It was just like, then it's just like, oh, veteran disability compensation rates. I clicked again, and that's when I finally get to it. So I had to go through 4 different clicks to get to that. That's why on YouTube, my most successful video on YouTube, or basically for the past 2 years, has been me creating a video that tells you what the disability ratings are. Literally, you watch it, I inform you from 0 all the way to 100% what the pay is, what the things are that you obtain in those levels. And that way you have some guidance as to, oh, I'm at 100%. I get Champ VA now. I also get the DEA benefits, which is the dependent education assistance. I get those things within that. And it's just like, oh shit, I didn't even know I could get that. But it's just educating people, just giving them snippets of just information that they can obtain and learn from. Because the thing is most of the time, those videos, people are interested when when the rates are about to come out, everybody's like, shit, I got to see how much I get paid. And then they leave it. But then there's all these other resources that va.gov has that people don't know about. I was like, when you go to education and training, go to view all education. You got the GI Bill. You got veterans education, which they have all these different things. More information and resources. Then when it comes to employment, you got the VRE. You said filing a claim is a full-time job. It damn near is. But the thing is imagine the thing about it is like filing a VA claim is a full-time job and you ain't getting no training at your job. That's the crazy part about it. It's a full-time job that you ain't received no fucking training on how to fucking do it. It's like, hey, we gonna get you paid, but you got no idea what the hell you doing. But here, you work for us now. It's just like, what? It's like that's the problem that people don't understand. Like, that's the issue. That's one of the biggest issues we deal with. You just got that job, but they didn't train you and they expect you to be successful. Yeah, see, in Texas, that's what it is. If you came out of Texas, there's also the Hazelwood Act. The Hazelwood Act is basically for veterans that left and joined the military through there, and you get that. Is Champ VA free to spouses independent? So, Mike, you make sure you file for it. You got to go through it. The process takes like about 6 months for them to do it. Why it takes so fucking long, I don't know. Champ VA is basically a secondary insurance for your spouse and dependents. Because since you 100% P&T, you can go get seen for damn near everything at the VA. For them, what it does is it creates a secondary insurance. Even if you have TRICARE, which, I have to figure that I have to get back to on. Because if you have like TRICARE, I don't know if you can do Champ VA at the same time. That's something I need to look into. I'll look into that. But if you got Champ VA, it's basically like a secondary insurance. So for myself right now, my wife through her job has primary insurance. Because of me, we have Champ VA and the secondary insurance. So literally what happens is that they process your you going to the clinic or whatever the case in both insurances. So first they go through my wife's insurance, which does whatever it does. And then Champ VA usually covers the second half of it. Now, they don't always cover everything because there's certain things that they do and don't cover. But most of the time, you get that like invoice and it's just like, oh, this is what the VA paid out. Or this is what Champ VA paid out. Because your primary insurance covered the first like $250. There was $50 still left that your insurance wasn't covering. Champ VA will usually cover that extra $50. So now instead of you having a $50 bill, you ain't got no extra bill and your family went to go to the doctor and got seen and you ain't have to pay nothing for it. Yes, you're still paying for the primary insurance through the job, but that's afforded to you because of your job. But now you have that secondary insurance. I am 100% P&T and I am currently in Kansas. Bookie. I was just like, and that's the thing also. Your state depends on a lot of things. What your state does and what your state has for information, you have to look into those things. Each state is created differently. Some have great benefits. Some are fucking trash. Some barely got anything for fucking veterans. Some of these states just basically will give you a fucking free license plate that you can put veteran on it. And that's mostly it. Worse than a doctorate dissertation trying to follow me. It's like this shit is difficult. It's just like you have to learn to do the research. But if you don't know what the research is, you don't know what the training is, it's damn near impossible to be successful. It was like in certain instances, that's why I think the military does it that way. I don't think it's the VA that does it that way. Because the thing is the VA is when you are a veteran. This is something that should be done to people while they're in the military. That transitioning class should be an in-depth class as to how to use these resources and these benefits. But most of them shits is just like check the block fucking instances where it's just like, yeah, see, Florida has good look. Florida and Texas are like kind of like, I would say in the top 10 when it comes to veteran benefits. It was like Texas got the Hazelwood Act. Some of them will give you exemptions, full exemptions on your property taxes. Some don't tax your retirement pay. So it's just like there's different instances and different stuff. Some is like the property tax. I forget what state it is. It's literally that they give you a reduction in percentage depending on what your claim, your percentage is. So your property tax, if you are 50% disabled, you're getting 50% off of your thing. If you're 60, it moves it up to 60, 70, and continuing like that. So it's just like it depends on your state because each state is different. Each state has different resources. Each state Most of the time, states that have some sort of military in there at some capacity, they usually look out for veterans more because it's just like we have veterans, we have military installations here. We know that these people are good for our economy. Why? Because they're gonna get a regular check the rest of their lives. They're getting a damn check. That means if they live in here and we enticing them to stay in our state, that means we know we're gonna get some of that money back. And that's why some states are like that. Not all states operate in that manner. Like I said, some states don't really have many resources for them because it's like, hey, if you don't got really any military bases or any military presence, it's like veterans isn't a big issue. But if you have a big concentration of veterans, it was just like, yeah, they usually tend to give more resources. Most of the time, it's like educational benefits or it's benefits for dependents and spouses. That is just like, hey, well, you came out of Texas, there's a Hazelwood Act. You can go to school for free, basically. I think New Jersey does something for like the dependents that they could go to any of the schools in there and the dependents get for free. Same thing in California. There's a thing, I can't remember what it's called, but in California it has that resource also. Yeah, and that's the thing. People find out about it way after. I was just like, imagine and you could have gone to school for free once you got out the military. You didn't have to use the GI Bill and you didn't have to use the VRE program. Most people don't know what the VRE program is. And that's basically a secondary GI Bill. And people have no fucking idea that shit exists. Most people just think, oh, I got my GI Bill, and they go and use it. Well, you could have used your VRE and then use your GI Bill and basically gotten yourself 2 different degrees and still not paid for them, still not having student loans at the back end of it. It's like those are the resources that most of the time people don't know of. And it's just like, if you don't know, you don't know, but you didn't use it. But somebody else should be able to take advantage of it if you educate them on taking it. Like right now, I'm using my GI Bill for my master's. I finished it in May. Did I know that I used the VRE program? No. I found out about the VRE program once I started my GI Bill. And it was like, at that point, it was just like, it's a master's degree. I'm going to use 2 years. I'm going to still have another year left. So it's just like, I can use my GI Bill and I'll still have some of it left. But now I could go back and use the VRE and try to go for my PhD if that's the case. Why do you think they don't educate us on that when we are enlisted? The military don't educate you on shit. But that's why it's hard to pinpoint it, because they don't teach you shit. So it's not like they do it on. It was like, if they're doing it on purpose, they not teaching this shit on purpose. Appreciate it, everyone. It was like they ain't teaching this shit on anything. Because it's like, look, how many times were people in service and you can tell me they got yearly training on finances? How many times you went through while in service did they give you mental health briefings? It was just like, how many times? They don't. And then when you get out and you get it out, they give you this bullshit ass person that was just like, oh, I'm a financial, I got my CPA and this and that. And the bro just teaches you just like, oh, you should probably have a budget. Don't break the shit down. They'll give you the damn spreadsheet like, here, use this. Bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You expect me to fill this shit out and I have no idea how to run a damn budget, and you just think giving me a spreadsheet is going to help me. I was like, but that's what they do. And then they'll be like, well, you had your thing. But if it's anything else, boy, they'll give you all that stuff. Yeah, North Star. It'd be a month-long class, but why don't we have that? That's the question. Why don't we have that? If you transitioning out of the military, that's the one thing that I think they have to change. Because before, what it was is like you had to have re-enlisted by a certain amount of time. They should make it that, hey, at the 6-month cutoff, if you ain't re-enlisting, you are getting out of the military. Now you could do it that the day before you ETS, you could go back and re-enlist. So what they need to do is like, hey, 6 months out, these last 6 months is literally you transitioning out of the military. No, TAPS doesn't do it, is not enough. The transition assistance program is terrible. I don't expect you to teach everything, but at least have classes and procedures that actually go in depth on these things that allow you to do it. Because the thing is you can't tell me you don't have it, because the thing is most of these classes are rushed. Talk about, oh, you got a financial class and it's a day long. What the fuck am I going to learn in a fucking day about finances? I never done anything with finances, and you telling me that this dude is going to teach me something in a day? You can make it that last month is the person, or the second to last month before these people ETS, before they have to clear and everything, is literally the whole month you are in class. Your spot of thing is this building. You will be here every day, this building for the whole month. This is all you will be doing. First 3 days, finances. Next 3 days, they say how to fill a spreadsheet. Yeah, all that shit. It was just like, next 3 days, VA. Next 3 days, employment resources. Like, hey, building up your resume, doing that. Do that for 3 days. The next 3 days, this. The next 3 days, that. You could do that easily. They could do that easily. But do they choose to? No, because they rather screw soldiers over and not educate them. And then most of the time you have soldiers, like, look, most of the time, the more people that are successful when getting out are the higher ranking people. Why? Because they're not being bothered. I got out as a staff sergeant. They weren't going to tell me I couldn't do that shit. You got me fucked up. I was just like, I'm getting out. I'm going to these classes. Y'all ain't putting me on this mission or that shit. It was just like, nope, appointment. But if you tell that to like that PFC or that private or that specialist, they'll try to screw them over and be like, nah, man, we need you to come out to the field. And then it's just like, people need to try to get out the military. They need to clear housing. They need to clear CIF. Y'all already know how CIF is. Y'all already know that it's a miracle if you go through CIF and you got a first time go. So imagine going through all that and they're doing, that's why I say it was just like, you could do all these classes the second month prior to them getting out, do all these classes. So then that last month is literally, you are clearing, you're getting your paperwork done, you're getting your housing done, you're getting your CIF done, you're getting your automobile taken care of if you need to ship it or whatever the case, and you have all that, so you have adequate planning. But the military don't do that for you. If you're older vet or older service member, you get the ability to do that. You get the time frame. They give you time. They ain't gonna bother you for the shit. But then a lot of the times those younger vets don't get afforded that opportunity. So now you got somebody that's struggling to try to get the shit done. And it's like, you know what it is to try to ETS, and you got to have a power of attorney to somebody to make sure you get your shit. You know what that is? I got to get out the military, but y'all didn't give me enough time that I had to leave a power of attorney to make sure I got shit taken care of. I had to do that for one of my boys. It was just like, he was out. I had to go through all his shit. I had to make sure his housing was done, stuff like that. And it's just like, bro, that should be unnecessary that you telling me the person did what they did in the service. Now they getting out and they don't have the ability to take care of themselves because you rushed them and didn't give them the time. It was just like the military does that shit. And it's just like, but nothing happens because you know what? In Congress, they just made it that you have to have the classes. They don't fucking specify how in depth they have to be. They don't specify on the clarity that you need within those classes. They just say you have to have the classes. And what did the military do? Oh, we gave you a finance class. It was a day long. Here's a spreadsheet. The fuck? Like you said earlier, Bugsy, it was just like, you got the full-time job, but we ain't gonna train you on this shit. Good luck. How the fuck am I gonna get paid if I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing? They're just like, people don't understand that. But that's why it's just like, it's important to teach people all this stuff so that they're educated on it and they learn on it. Being on base, being off base. Off base, it was good, but it's just like, you in service right now, right? Okay. Why ain't you giving me the resources to be successful while I'm getting out? And it's like, people don't understand that. That shit happens too many times where it's just like, vets don't understand that. But the thing is looking for those resources and finding them. All this stuff is free. Like the va.gov free site. You just need to learn how to look for it. The CFR, Code of Federal Regulations, this is literally you looking for it and knowing what you have to do. But if you don't know this shit exists, you ain't going to know what the Code of Federal Regulations is. If you going through all these things and you can't identify all the things you need to be successful, you're going to have a hard time because of the fact that you can't explain this stuff. You can't explain what you don't know. So the military here for people I never deal with the military. It was just like, hey, Carly, that's your decision. There's nothing wrong with that. But hey, some of these military dudes, when they get out, they got a stable check for the rest of their life. Some of these people are the most stabilized people when they know what they're doing. The resources you can use as a service member and a vet outside of it can set you and your family up for the next generations if you know what you're doing. That's if you know what you're doing. Because the fact that if you collecting disability, no matter, it doesn't mean you have to get 100%. Even if you are 50%, that is still a 50% check that you are going to make for the rest of your life every month on the first of the month. Even if it's $300 extra, $500, $700 you get in a month, every month, tax-free for the rest of your life. That's at least a check you know you can survive off of if need be. Then you got all the resources of education benefits. Shit, if you like going fishing and hunting, they usually got free hunting licenses, free fishing licenses. If you need to go renew your license plate, most of the time your license plate is covered, or you could get the customized one, or you could get the disabled veteran one, or you could just get the regular veteran one, or you could get your damn thing, and that's for free. Going to school and stuff like that. All that stuff is available, but the thing is people don't know about it and they don't take care of it. The fact that let's say like you came out of Texas, but this is just even if you come out of any state. Texas is different because it has the Hazelwood Act. But if you go through and you serve in the military, right? You get out, you use the VRE program for your bachelor's degree. You got a bachelor's. You didn't pay for it. You get to go. Now, you still got your GI Bill. So now literally you can go to school and get a master's degree with your GI Bill, and you're still going to have some GI Bill left. Now, you basically just earned 2 degrees that no matter where the hell you go, you are going to be competitive against whoever you are competing against at a job application. Why? Because you have a bachelor's and a master's degree and you have some work experience. The thing is that you have to be able to translate your military service time to a civilian service time. Because a lot of the times what people don't know is just like what you did in the military can give you a great fucking resume. If you did anything with any kind of vehicles and you signed for it, you were in charge of property. You managed the property. You maintained the property. Now, if you were in charge of soldiers, you maintained their well-being. You were a supervisor to them because you made sure that they were at the right place at the right time. You made sure their pay was good. You made sure their medical was good. If they had to file something or something like that, you did that and assisted them with them. That's human resources and that's management level skills. The thing is most people don't put that in there and don't know to put it because they just think, oh, I was just a fucking squad leader. Well, I was just a platoon sergeant. No, if you were a platoon sergeant, you were a manager level person because you were managing however many people. You were instructing them on PT or something like that. You made a PT plan. That is you implementing and developing procedures within your organization to make your organization more successful and more efficient. Look at what you just did there. Most people just look at it, oh, that was part of the job. No, so for the Hazelwood Act, you had to have joined the military through the state of Texas. So your home of record, basically, when you joined the military was Texas, and then you can use the Hazelwood Act. If you just happen to be stationed there and decide to stay, not the same thing. So you basically, if you are a Texas resident and you entered the military through the state of Texas, then you are afforded the Hazelwood Act. Not I used to live in Wyoming and I decided to move to Texas, so I'm going to use the Hazelwood Act. That's how they have it basically. So that's like an incentive within their state to like, hey, you join the military. Once you're done, bro, you got free school. So imagine that. Imagine you got free school in the state of Texas. You got your bachelor's. You went through the VRE, got your master's. Then you went through the GI Bill trying to get a PhD. You just got 3 levels of education for free. For free. Didn't even pay for anything. But most people don't look at it that way, and most people don't think about it that way because they don't learn. It's just like, shit, I could have done that. I literally could have had 3 degrees. Now you telling me wherever you go to, you show up with a damn PhD. You telling me you ain't gonna find a job? Imagine having a PhD and then going for a federal job, bro. That's G, like, what is that? G14, 13. You up there? Yeah, no. So that's another thing most people don't. If you can claim your parents as dependents if you provide 50% or something around in financial assistance, or you have to show documentation of the financial assistance that you are claiming. So let's say you are sending your family, your parents, let's say $300 a month or something. If you've been doing that and stuff like that, you can put them as a claim because they are relying on that money that you are doing for financial assistance to be able to do it. I have to see what the specifics is, but let's see. Let's go through va.gov and go through the 8,000 clicks to get there. Let's go view all in disability. Now scroll down because it's survivor and dependent compensation. I think it would fall under that, but I'm increase. We're going to remove a dependent, add or remove dependent, additional. And that's the other thing with this. It's not very specific. Because the thing is look what we're talking about is adding dependents. It was just like you can add or remove a dependent. But here it goes. It was just like additional. Who does the VA consider a dependent? When should I add them? And then you look through this and it's just like, where's the parent? You go through it and it's just like, what the hell is the parent? And it tells you to log in. Yeah. The VA is like, damn, like one of those spam emails. You know that when you click on it, it's like, oh, click here to get to this. Click here and we'll take you to the site that'll lead you to this. I was like, okay. Click here and this will lead you to that. Click here and this will lead you to this. On the last one you click, that just sends you all the way back to the fucking first fucking page. And you just like, bro, I just clicked all through this and I'm right back where I fucking started. Like, what the hell just happened? And then the thing is the funny thing is that you're going to go through the same process again because you're going to go through all those 8 clicks to figure out where the fuck you fucked up. And then it's going to send you right back to the beginning. But it's just like, add disability compensation for a dependent parent. And here it goes. To file a claim for additional disability compensation for the dependent parent, you'll need to submit and fill out a form, statement of dependency of parents. So if you click on that, it's like, I'll click on it. See what it shows. It's downloading real quick. Then it goes, and now it gives you the explanation of it. Let me... I was like, you go through the process. If you are veterans who are parents of dependents, let's see, net worth of parents. So specific instructions. Report the current value of all the interests and rights you, the parents, have in any kind of property. This includes real estate, yada, yada, yada. Then income of parents. Report all income received for the 12-month period and for the calendar month immediately preceding the date of completing this form and the sources of income. Wages, all that stuff. Expenses of a parent, dependents. No parents must sign and date the forms. And it gives you that. And you got to give a breakdown. A source from which income is received. Veteran's parent. What it is. You put in that. Where are they receiving it? Where that. And you going through the process and then you got to submit this and then they got to approve it. And it's just like all that information is there. But it gives you the instruction and all that. But look at how many clicks I had to go through just to get that. To be able to show like, hey, you want to add a dependent, you got to go through here, here, here. You need to be able to search and have the time to actually make sure you are looking through the whole thing. It was just like, oh, okay, this is where I'm at. This is not where I'm at. Oh shit, I need to fix this. I just seen this person. I'm sorry. Somebody's damn name on TikTok was fucking Catherine Levitt's upper lip. Just look, she ain't got no damn upper lip. Oh man, some people be too creative, bro. That shit is that's funny as hell. Oh shit, that was a good laugh. But that's what I'm saying. It's like this is how the information is there, but it breaks it down for you. But the thing is if you didn't know how to search for it, if you didn't know how to go through the process of actually doing all these clicks like I just did, you don't know how to add a dependent. You're gonna get frustrated because you're just like, bro, I don't know this. I don't know what the process is. It's like there should be an easier breakdown of doing that. I shouldn't have to go through 300 clicks. And then the thing is, and the crazy part about it is, this is the part that bothers me the most when it comes to the VA.gov. It doesn't really go into the specifics of the issue. Oh, you want to file for adding a dependent? Here's the form. Bro, y'all should have a whole separate page fucking explaining what the process is and how it is that you need to go through the process in doing it. It's just like that's the thing. A lot of people don't know that they can claim their parents, but the thing is if you've been financially assisting your parents, you're able to claim them. The thing is that most people don't think it's possible because most people are used to like taxes and stuff where it's like it's the parent claiming the kid. But when it comes to the VA, you as the kid can claim your parent because you providing them financial assistance. That's the way that a lot of people look at it because it's like everybody gets it associated with just like taxes. It was just like, I am a dependent of my parent. I can't claim my parent, but if you're taking care of your parent and you are providing financial assistance, you can claim them. You get extra compensation. Is it a lot more? No, but it's something that you get extra if you are taking care of your parents. So that can offset some of the stuff that you are doing. But is it a big difference? No, but let's go back because then we have to go through the whole different clicks and find what it is. Look, I just went through 4 clicks just to find what the disability rating is. And this is with dependents, including children, with a dependent spouse or parent, but no children. So we'll just do it for with everything, basically. So if you have one child, one spouse, and one parent, the difference of it changes maybe like $70. It's not that big of a difference. But if you're doing it at 100%, it changes it because you go from just a veteran with a child only is $3,900. A veteran with a child and a parent changes it, and you're in the $4,300 now. So it's that slight difference that it does. But if you are assisting your parent, anything helps to assist your parent if you're getting compensated more for it. Now, do they give you a whole lot? No. But the same way they have that big discrepancy of where you are at 90% getting to 100, that's a big damn change. Because look, for veteran, where's the veteran only? Veteran alone, 3,831 if you are 100% disabled. If you are at 90, you're at 2297. That's a major jump. Going from 90% to 100%. But it's them basically clarifying that, hey, if you are 100% disabled, that's how you got to that point. It's just like you are hindered more, so that's why they compensate you more. But then it goes into how you filing, what you did with the filing. Did you file correctly? Did you provide the correct documentation? Did you provide a nexus letter? Did you provide imagery? Did you have all that stuff? Did you have a buddy statement? Did you have your own personal statement? And it's like you start telling and rambling these people all these things. They'd be like, bro, I ain't got time for none of that shit. I was just like, that sounds like a lot of work. Well, a lot of people don't want to do the work, but expect results. You're not going to get results if you're not putting in the work to this. You have to put in the work to be successful with your disability claims. The VA is not going to do the work for you. The VA isn't the one that's going through the problems. The VA isn't the one having the issues. You are. So if you can't advocate for yourself, the VA is not going to go out their way to do it. Yep. Same thing. Those little jumps and stuff, they don't take it as a big thing. It's like, yes, you are disabling. Or you are disabled, but it's depending on the percentage and depending on what it is. depending on what you're dealing with and what it's going through and how badly it affects you. But that's where it comes important to learn what the CFR is, because the CFR explains that. The CFR gives you that information so that you understand that, hey, you are not going to get 100% for everything you claim. You are not going to get 100% for everything. Some things don't even go up to 100%. Like I did the workshop last week when it was just like the proposed changes for the mental health rating. Those are the proposed changes. They're going to change it now, or that's what they're planning to do, but it's going to be different if we do that. Yeah, the government don't want to. The government is like, look, I got you, but I don't know what the fuck wrong with you, so you got yourself. That's how they look at it. They don't care for that. They're not paying attention to that. That's what they're looking at. It's just like, you know what? It was like, oh, okay, so you're getting this disability rating, you're going through that. This is the process of what you're going through. And it's just like people don't understand that. People don't understand the fact that this is what they have to do to be successful. You have to do the work. You have to do the legwork. You have to go through all the stuff. Does it suck? Yes. Does it suck getting the job and not being trained and expecting to do the good job? Fuck yeah. That's terrible. But at the same time, then it's on veterans to make sure that they are going about business as they should. The same way they wanted you to have attention to detail in the military, that's one of those traits from the military you need to continue forward as a veteran when it comes to your claim. Attention to detail. All those little details help build your case. All those little details help build your statement, your claim. That's that attention to detail. That's where people end up messing up because they don't put attention to any detail. They just go about it and just do that. Oh yeah, it's just like the VA math. I have a video on that too on YouTube that explains it. It's just like that for most people, they don't understand it, and that's what gets a lot of high hopes like crushed. Because like you said, if you got 50% mental health, 50% from back pain, and 10%, that gives you 50, 75. You're like at 77%, 78%. Shit, hold on. I'll check it. I'll do this shit right here on the thing. And I'll show you. Hold on. Let me get to the combined ratings table and I'll share my screen. Here we go. So look at the instance you said. 50%. It's not 50% VA rating, but that's how people feel it would be. So let's say you start at 50. So you go to 50%, right? Then it tells you when you go to the right what the percentage is. So if you start at 50% and now at the top of the screen you see that it's 50%, you scroll over, that got you to 75. And you like, what the fuck? Like, hold on. I have 50 plus 50 equals 75. I was like, that shit don't make no damn sense. I thought that would be 100. Nope. So now you would go to 75 since that's what your second 50% rating got you. You go to 75. Then you got a 10%. Oh shit, I was right. Damn, I just did it in my head. It was just like you had 78%. So you got two 50s and a 10 and you had 78%. And you like, what kind of fucking math is this? Last time I was in math, that was 110%. Now you trying to tell me this shit is 78%? I was just like, people get so confused. And the thing, the easy way for me to tell people and explain people is just like, when you do VA math, you are basically doing you are a pizza pie, basically. You're a pizza pie. The percentages are what you're taking out of the pizza as you continue to do that. So literally when they say, oh, you right now are 100% whole. If you got a 50% rating for anything, that means 50% of the pie was just removed. What are you left with? 50%. You still got 50% remaining, right, of the pie left. So now let's say you get another 50% rating. Most people would think, oh, 50 and 50, 100. No, what they're doing is you're that pizza pie. You had only 50% left of the pizza pie. So we're taking 50% of that pie that's left. So when you take that piece of that 50% of that pie, you are now at 25% left to get to 100. And then that continues. And then depending on what your next rating is, because that got you to 75, right? Let's say you have another 50. Okay, cool. What does another 50 get you to? If you look at it from 75, it'll get you with another 50, get you to 88. And you still like, what the fuck is going on? It was just like, I'm at 88. But at the same time, you are getting paid at the 90% because they round up. And that's why I tell it's important for people to understand the CFR when it comes to filing for increases and stuff like that. Because the thing is yes, if you get a 95% rating, they will rate you to 100%. But then that would be a scheduler 100%. Because there's four different types of 100%. There's 100% permanent and total. There's 100% TDIU. There's 100% scheduler and 100% temporary. So if you get a 95 rating and it bumps you up to, what's up, Mango? If you got a 95% rating and they bump you up to 100, you're now getting paid at the 100% mark. But this still leaves you open to being evaluated. Because basically, if you're 100% P&T, is basically they have identified you that with the issues you have, they are not going to get any better. So they put you at 100% P&T because they know your shit is probably going to worsen over time. If you are TDIU, that is basically that you have basically two disabling things that are so bad that they don't allow you to get employment. So basically, if you have a 70% rating on one thing and a 40 on another, that's basically like saying, oh, this is so bad that it doesn't allow them to be employed. So we are going to give them the same benefits as the 100%. Because of one disabling thing, it renders them disabled to that point. So that's another 100%. And you get put on that. If you go to temporary 100%, temporary 100% happens when it comes to, let's say you have a surgery. So if you have a surgery that's being implemented and placed, like let's say you have a shoulder surgery, they know that that shoulder surgery is going to affect you in a manner where you are not going to be able to do anything for, let's say, 6 months. So they will put you on temporary 100%, which for that time period from the day of the surgery till they expect a recovery date, they will pay you at that 100% mark because of that situation. Then they will revert back to what your regular thing was. Now, if your scheduler, you're at 95% and you get to 100, yeah, you're getting paid at the 100. But the way they see it is that you have certain things in your disability claims that may improve or are likely to improve over time. So when it gets to that point where they see like you are able to improve, that's why they don't make it permanent and total. Because if you had that 95 and you get paid at 100, but it was like something that, hey, through therapy, you're going to be better, or something happens and it'll be better, then they're not going to give you that permanent and total because it's like, we know we're going to reevaluate you. So, example, if you have arthritis every 5 years, your rating should increase. But that's the thing, they don't. That's the thing, they don't want to do that because the thing is you can't measure arthritis. You can show the signs of it, but you can't measure arthritis. That's the thing. In some people, arthritis gets worse quickly. In others, it may not deteriorate that much. So that's why the VA, if you notice, they make sure not to put things in there like that, because that's something that leaves a lot up to interpretation. So basically, if you have arthritis, you may have arthritis that is bad, that is just like your bones is just like not working. And then you may have arthritis where it's just like it's painful, but it doesn't affect you to that degree. They can't tell the difference. That's the same thing, like I say, with pain. They can't tell what your pain levels are. They can't tell if one thing is more painful to you or one thing is less painful to you. They know you're in pain, but the degree and the pain tolerances people is different. So that's why they keep away from those things, because it's just like, I can't put something in here that says I'm gonna just file an increase for something like that when they can't verify that it's actually gotten worse. So that's why the VA does it that way, because it's just like, if that was the case, over time, everybody would get to 100%. And that would be on their own. But at the same time, adding 10%, even after 5 years, that 10% might not help you anywhere. Because the thing is like, look, if you are, but that's also, like I said, with the VA math, it's important to know where you fall into and what your increase may be. That's why I said that was important. Because the thing is you can get paid. Let's say you're not at 100%, because at 100% you're at 95, right? But let's say you are getting paid right now at the 80% mark or even at the 90% mark. You need to know what your actual rating number is. Because the thing is if you are getting paid at the 90% mark, that literally means that your rating can be between 85 and 94. Your rating can be in between that rating. You're getting paid at the 90% mark because you hit 85 and you went over that. And they rounded it up. So you're getting paid at the 90 mark. But you can be sitting at the 85 and get paid at that 90. I was like, so if you're there from 85 to 94, you still getting paid at the 90% mark. But let's say, hey, you're at 85 and you got that 10% increase. You only at 87. You still getting paid at the 90% mark. From 85 to get to 95 is basically another 60, 70%. So that alone confuses people, because that's why I tell people, just like, when you get your disability pay, you will be told that you are getting paid at a certain percentage. What you need to know is what exactly is that percentage? Do the VA math and find out exactly what it is, because then that allows you to know, hey, I'm trying to get to 100%. If I file an increase for that, where I have my documentation and I show that it's gotten worse, what is that going to give me? Because if it's going to give me a 30%, it was just like, okay, I went from 85 to 90. I still need to get to 95. So at 90, to get to 95, you still need another 50%, which the VA math is crazy for that. But that 10% didn't really do much for you. Whatever that small percentage is, like, it increased it, but you're still getting paid at the 90% mark. You still need a whole nother bunch of percentages to get you to where you need to. But if you don't know that, you might file an increase and you're thinking, oh, I'm at 90%. All I need is this 10% to get to 100. And then you file for it. And then you come to find out that, yes, it was service connected. Yes, you got the percentage. And you're still getting paid at 90. And you're like, what just happened here? It was just like, and that's the thing. That's why they don't do that, because it's just like, I don't think there's anything that happens like that over time they will continue to increase it. I don't think there's anything of the sort. If somebody else knows of a certain moment like that, let me know. But there's no actual way that it just increases from just that you get automatic increases. Because if you need an increase or something has gotten worse or something is not getting it better, you have to go and file that increase. The VA isn't going to do that. And that's the other thing. People fail to realize that instead of always trying to go for these, like how they say, like the high value claims, you can file increases for stuff because that's already service connected. You don't need a proof service connection for it. When you go for secondaries, you have to prove that it is actually connected to the service connected issue. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Northstar. So you're at 80, you're getting paid at the 80% mark, right? So if you're getting paid at the 80% mark, that means you are between 75 and 84. That's a big discrepancy, knowing how much percentage you need to get to the next level. Because look, if you're at 84, you need 70%. 83, still need 70. 82, 81, you're going to need 80 there to get there. At 80, you need 80. And you see how it keeps on going? You keep on going through the list. It's just like the higher you go, you're going to need a higher percentage to get to that point. But that's why you have to make sure you know that, because then if you have your disabling issues, now you know, okay, now you go into the CFR, table of contents, and be like, all right, well, I'm looking for an increase in whatever it is. Musculoskeletal, because that's usually what people go for increases. From here, you have to figure out what it is you're going to be able to get. If you don't have that information, it's just like you're going to file an increase and you might not have anything to actually increase. Because you might get to the point where it's just like you have this stuff and it's just like there's no increase for you, guy. Like, We can't add something to something that can't be added to. So it's like you might file for an increase on like, hey, like your spine issue. If you already flexing at a certain point, there's there. Where do we find that rating? Well, you have to do the math for it yourself, North Star. So you would have to go through, and you can go through the. Hold on, I'll put the link to the CFR in the chat. Give me a sec. Matter of fact, let me go to scheduler ratings because I think that's 4.25. Yeah, 4.25. And I'll put this in the chat. So you can go through there. What you're gonna need is that you're gonna need to have your documentation. So you're gonna go through your ratings paperwork, put all of the disabilities in order of the percentages you have, and just put them down on the list. And then when you go through it, you just going down the list and you scratch the next one off. So if you got a 20% rating, start at 20. All right, you're at 20. Next one is 50. You don't want to do it that way. You want to start off that the highest valued ones are at the top and then you work your way down. So literally, if you are the highest one you got is a 30, you start at 30. You got a second 30. Well, if you go across, 30 and 30 gives you 51. All right, then you got another 30. So you go move down to 51, do another 30. That got you at 66. Then you got a couple of 10%, or you got a bunch of like 10% ones. Like let's say like 4 different 10% ones, right? So if you were at 66 with 10%, that's 69. That's one. From 69 to 72, that's 2 10%. From 72, another third, 75%. Right there, that could have led you to 80%, and that's how you're getting paid. But you're sitting at 75. So that's why it's important for veterans to understand that the VA math is dumb. That's the best way of putting it. I ain't sugarcoating that shit. It's dumb. But you need to understand how to do the VA rating so that you understand what you're getting and how you're getting that information. So that way you know, okay, I'm filing for an increase in whatever the case may be, then you upping it that way. Because the thing is it's already there. Like, hey, look, I got sleep apnea. If you got persistent daytime hypersomnolence, that's 30%. But let's say now it's gotten so bad that they had to give you a CPAP machine. Well, I can file for an increase because it says I can get an increase because now I need a CPAP machine for my airways. That bumps me up to 50%. So you just got a 20% increase and you didn't even have to show any service connection because it was already service connected. All you're doing now is showing that it has worsened, which is a lot easier to do because all you have to do is show the documentation you have. So if you have the documentation showing that your condition has worsened, boom, you got that done. It shows you gotten worse. And now you need the CPAP machine. You provide that documentation. The diagnosis is already there for your paperwork. So you filing for that increase is way easier than you trying to connect sleep apnea to something you already got. Because now you have to have the documentation and the proof to show that that is the leading cause of why you are at the position you are. So that's one of the tough parts that people fail to realize sometimes when it comes to that. So that's something to just understand. But yeah, that's it is what it is. It's difficult to navigate the VA. It's hard to go through the process, but it's something that you learn from it and it benefits you because you just have to go through the process of learning these things. The thing is, most of the time people don't get this information. They don't know where to look for it. They don't know where it's at, or they just don't know what they don't know. So it's always good to just tune into lives or workshops or check out YouTube videos because there's tons of different veterans that are doing the same thing I'm doing. Some of them charge a fee, some of them don't. Some of them give breakdowns. Some of them just make videos. I'm one of the few that does like a workshop weekly. A lot of the ones that like to do workshops, they like to charge for them. But yeah, this is just free information. It's there for veterans to take advantage of. There's nothing that hurts veterans more than not knowing what they should know. So that's one thing that people need to realize and just pay attention to. Educate themselves on those instances, educate themselves on those different things that are available to them, and use the resources because there's tons of resources through the VA. It's just that people don't understand them and don't know exactly where they have to go to be eligible for it. So once people have that, it's just like, it's easy to understand that, but it's a process. The attention to detail you learned in the military, you got to learn to use the attention to detail that is there. Because if you don't have that attention to detail, that's what makes your claim falter. That's what causes your disability claim to not work. Because if you're not filing it correctly, you already shooting yourself in the foot. If you're not filing correctly, not providing the shit you need, you're just shooting yourself in the foot because you're the one that's losing out on these benefits that are available to you that you earned. But the thing is you didn't go through the process and you didn't pay attention to the detail, and that caused you to lose those things. Jordan, if you're planning to use your VRE for the masters, is you have to go through the counselor. So you have to sign up through them, and then they will explain the process for you. Because the thing is when it goes for the VRE and the masters or whatever, it has to be basically on a job related thing. So it is basically for you to search for employment. So that is what because the VRE program has 5 different tracks. That one track is like the long-term track, which, like I said, if you're on YouTube, I can show you that because because I can share my screen there. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it with TikTok because TikTok be annoying. You can go to the website, VRE, and it used to be called Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment. It is Veterans Employment, no, Veteran Readiness and Employment Program now. They have it, they still have it there, but it's just like when you look it up, it gives you this old shit. Eligibility for Veteran Readiness and Employment. So when you go through it, it gives you a breakdown like how to apply for it, and it gives you the information there. But when it comes to it, you're going to have to talk to a counselor to get that done. That's something you have to go through the process, is going through a counselor, which explains the process, explains what you need to do, how you need to do it, what you're filing for, and what it is. Because there's 5 different tracks for it. So there's 5 different options that you have. One of them is like for self-employment. Where is it? Like eligibility. It'll give you a breakdown, and this will give you the eligibility. Where is the current tracks? Because it usually has... Okay, here we go. See, the VRE tracks for service members and veterans. So it's the 5 tracks. There's the reemployment track, which is if you're a veteran with a service-connected disability, the reemployment track can help you return to your former job and support your employer in your meeting your needs. Yeah, and the VRE Council picks on basically helping you what your disabling issues are. It was just like you're not gonna go into a field. They're not gonna support you going into a field knowing that you won't be able to work in the field because of your disability. It was just like if you can't sit for long periods of time, we're not gonna get you a damn desk job. Or maybe we can if we can work with the fact that maybe you get a standing desk like I have. But it's different factors. I'm using it for my bachelor's, but my counselor isn't trying to approve for my master's. Have you used your GI Bill, Jordan? Because in certain cases, just like, are you using your GI Bill and the VRE program, or which it is? Because if you're using it for your bachelor's and you still have your GI Bill, you could go that route. Because sometimes what they do is because you use your GI Bill, they'll be like, well, you should have been using the VRE, and they replace it. But thing is if you're getting your bachelor's done, I've used some of it. Yeah, I'm just using VRE. Yeah, use VRE for the maximum amount you can. And then from there, talk to another counselor. The thing is if you haven't finished your bachelor's yet, they look at it differently. But the thing is just like they want it to be like, hey, you're using this for employment. They want to make sure that you're getting some sort of employment off of getting your bachelor's. So let's say now you get the bachelor's, right? And you get a job with the bachelor's. Then you go back into the VRE. It's just like, hey, there's this position within my job that if I have my master's degree, it's open right now, I can obtain it. See what I'm saying? Because it's benefiting you employment wise. If you just telling them, hey, I want to get my master's degree done after this, you have to show why through the employment track you're doing that. So it's like it says, employment through long-term services track. If you have a service-connected disability employment barrier, we can help you get the education and training you need to find work in a different field. So basically, if you finish your bachelor's, once you finish your bachelor's, that's when you need to re-engage them. It was like, look, I got this job, I'm working through this, and I'm just like, but I want to use the VRE program to get me this certification or this thing to enhance my capabilities and help me get promoted within employment. That's how you got to word it. You got to use that. You got to use the word to basically show that you are trying to use the system to obtain better employment that you may have had. Because right now you get in a bachelor's degree using it. So basically they enrolled you into that to do that. I'm trying to show that for my career, I need a master's because, yeah, got to complete that bachelor's though. Because the thing is, he's probably saying that he don't want to do it because you got to finish your bachelor's first. So it's just like you need to show them that you can complete that. And then from there, because you don't have it, you may have to use a different one because it could be a rapid access to employment track. If you're going for like a field that, I don't know what field you're going into, but it's different because if you have the education to back it, that usually helps you. Yeah, same here. I'm done with my master's in May. And then I'm going to use the VRE program because I didn't know about the VRE program. I knew about the GI Bill, so I've been using my GI Bill. But I'm going to be able to leave, get my master's done, and still have another 2 years worth of GI Bill left. But now I'm going to use my VRE to possibly either get another master's or even work on a PhD. But it's showing that connection with it. But the thing is once you're done with your bachelor's, be done with the bachelor's and get out there, file, send out applications, do that, have a history, keep a track of all that information and be like, look, I've been doing this, but without a master's degree in this field, that is difficult for me to get a job. I've sent out applications. I've gone to interviews. It's not helping. I need assistance with this master's degree because it makes me more qualified and it gives me better qualifications to compete with these people since I don't have the experience. If you put it that way, it makes it sound like, oh, okay, she's doing this for that. You see what I'm saying? So but then again, you might have an asshole. I can't fucking help you. If you can talk to somebody else after you're done with it, go that route. Because sometimes these people work like if it's their fucking money that they fucking giving you. Like, bro, you just work for them. It's just like, yeah, and that's it. And that's the thing is, just like sometimes these people is horrible. It sucks. I know. I'm sorry. I can't apologize for them, but I know it sucks. I know that with some things, it's just like they be thinking it's their fucking money. Like, bro, this ain't even your money. I'm applying because I want to further myself, but you telling me no because you making it seem like you fucking going out of your savings bank and giving me this check for me to go to school. It was just like, no, some people are just terrible. Like, those are the things. See, and that's the crazy part, right? That's when I say like this whole Doge shit, right? That's the person that needs to be fired because they're not doing a fucking good job. Not just randomly picking people. That's where I have that problem. You telling me you're cutting all these people, but then you got a person that's known not to be doing a good job, and somehow they kept their job. I was like, no, if they're doing a horrible job and people can't get to the resources, like those are the people that need to be fired. Not somebody that, oh, they just started their job. It was just like 9 times out of 10, if a person just started their fucking job, they trying to do a fucking good job to keep the job. At least that's my thought process on it. I could be wrong, but if you start at a job, I know you ain't gonna be a shitbag when you still on probation, knowing that you might not keep the job. It's all these people that have been there for way too damn long and got comfortable and haven't done anything. Those are the people that we need to look into because they've been sitting there and not doing anything, and that's why we need to change the system for that issue. But I don't work for the government. I just make sense. That's it. But that's the thing that people need to realize. When it comes to that, sometimes the problem with the VA is not that the VA doesn't have the stuff, it's the people that they still have working in there that are the problem. If you got bad CMP examiners, that just adds more work. She doesn't do anything, takes months to respond, just horrible. But that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Jordan, I can't help you more specifically, because the thing is in that case, it is the counselor. The counselor is the person that you have to go through to do that. Now, if you can possibly get to a different counselor, that's one thing. See, I'm sorry to hear that, Shanice. It was just like, people that are getting a new job are trying to do their best to keep the job. Those are the people, those would be the last people I would try to get rid of. Because I know these people are still learning the job and they can be great at it. But if you've had somebody that's been in there for like 5-10 years and they show that they haven't been doing a fucking good job, that means that's the person that should be fucking getting fired. But when you ain't actually doing any evaluating process on this thing, it's crazy to me. And then the fact that the VA is talking about, oh, we're about to get rid of another 80,000 people. I was just like, bro, they understaffed across the damn border. You're going to get rid of more people. So that's just going to be a bigger delay for stuff. It's going to be lesser on there. And it's just going to become a bigger mess for veterans. But I've spoken on that way too many times already. It's just like, these people don't know what they're doing, but they say they know what they're doing. It's just like, you got no fucking clue as to what veterans need, because you don't even use the resources, or some of them ain't even in the military or know anybody in the military that is a family member. And you mean to tell me that they know what the VA is like? Nobody in those cabinets, that in the cabinet right now, knows what military service is. Most of those families have been about money for a bunch of generations. None of those families had to serve the military. None of them joined in the military. So the fact that it's easy to say for something that you don't know is easy to question and say, oh, they don't deserve this shit. It was like easy for somebody to say that never did anything with it. So that's the problem we have right now. But it was like, that's why right now it's hard for me to do more workshops on specific items, because I don't know what the fuck is going to get cut. Like, I could talk about the CFR. I could talk about the DBQs. I could talk about a Nexus letter. Those are things that I know are going to stay in place. But then all these other things is just like, I don't know what's going to change. I don't know what the thought process is of like removing these things and like changing it. So it's just like, I don't really want to start teaching stuff that is just like, oh, we're going to be talking about this. Well, never mind. This shit got fucking axed. It's just like, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, so that's why it's like lately it's just been like question and answers just to help people, assist people. You got questions, ask them. If you don't know, or if you know a veteran that has questions, let them tune in, ask you. Because the thing is I'll probably learn something, they'll learn something, but then there's another veteran that didn't know what to ask and they can learn from it also. So it's just like benefiting everybody all around. So, but all right, y'all, I'm going to call it. Yeah, we passed 2 hours. Usually I like to just do these for 2 hours. But like I said, if y'all got any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to message me on you can go through my website and send it through an email, vetawarenessproject.com. There's a contact link. Send me an email through there if you have questions. Like I said, I'm not going to do the claim for you. I'm not going to do anything specific for you. If you need guidance, I'll probably answer you and let you know, hey, you can go through here, or this is where you can find this documentation. This is the resource that you need to be able to better learn what it is that it's available to you. I'm not going to file the claim for you. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to educate you on the process and where you have to go to be successful with your claim or your benefit or your resource. Even if it's a stateside, it's just like, if you do it that way, I got no problem with answering somebody like that. But when it comes to like specifics and stuff like that, I'm not accredited. I am not going to be put in a position where somebody going to be like, oh, Cruz told me to do this, do that. I was just like, nope, that's not going to be on me. The attention to detail is on you. The information you obtain is on you. The claim and the attention to detail that you want to put into your claim to make sure you are successful as a veteran, all on you. I'm just guiding you to it. That's all. So, as always, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Love one another. and stay marvelous while doing it, y'all. I'm just Cruz. This has been the Veteran Awareness Project workshop / Q&A / seminar / I don't care what you want to call it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate any gifts, everything. It all helps to contribute more to veterans. So I always appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will catch you on the next one. And remember, this is something that I do every Sunday. So if you know somebody that needs assistance or has questions, let them know to tune in on Sundays. If you haven't subscribed to follow me on YouTube, YouTube is the best way to keep on following, because if I post videos and I go live there, I don't always go live on TikTok at the same time. On Sundays, I do TikTok, Twitch at the same time. All the other times when I go live that it's randomly on YouTube, that is strictly on YouTube I do it. So if you got questions and stuff, just tune in, pop-up streams. Even if it's sometimes it's like nicer weather, I go on a walk. I'll go on the phone and just talk to people and stuff like that. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Peace. Hey, No Star, I appreciate that. I'm gonna start doing that. I just gotta figure that stuff out just to see. I'm still finishing school. Once I'm done with school, basically, which I graduate in May, I'm gonna have more time to be able to do that. Airborne, I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you as always. I was just like, that's the thing. It's just like I'm still trying to finish school. Once I finish school, I'll be done with school. And then from there, that's when I'm gonna do more workshops. I'll be able to do more workshops. I'll be able to have like a panel system where it's just like, hey, if you got questions and stuff, tune in and we can talk that way so that I can get people the answers and stuff like that while talking on live. So that's something that we will be doing once I have the uninterrupted time to be able to talk to people, so that way I can have hosts, I can have a panel. So if it's just a group of people that have questions, we could talk on certain things, certain aspects when it comes to the VA and stuff like that. So that way it's everybody learning and educating, and then we just develop it that way. But I appreciate y'all. Airborne, appreciate you. Good seeing you, my man. Hope everything is doing good. Same thing with everybody that tunes in. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. And that's the thing. Twitch has it also. So that's what I'm saying. All of them are starting to do it because YouTube is starting to do it also, like the collaboration thing. So that's something that is just like I'm gonna be able to do. But that way is just like, all right, I need to figure it out with time to be able to collaborate on Twitch, on YouTube, and on TikTok all at the same time, but be able to have it that I can actually show you everything. Because the biggest issue I have right now is that I want to be able to have the chat showing like how I have it right here, just like the chat on the side, to be able to show everybody what everybody's saying, so that way everybody can understand. Because the thing is some questions are asked on TikTok, some are asked on, well, Twitch doesn't really get too many people, but and then the rest are asked on YouTube. So if people are asking here, I want everybody to be able to see the whole conversation, so that way it's just like, oh, he was answering this question or he said that. But like I said, that stuff working on, and then I still got the website I'm working on. As we keep going, like I said, once I'm done with school and I ain't got nothing else to worry about, I ain't got no extra reading, no papers and all that, this will be a full-time investment on that. But like I said, I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. I will see y'all next week or sometime throughout the week. Peace.